in a little later as well. So Kate and then Brian and then Megan, if you'd like to say hi.
Hi, everybody. Great to see you all here. I'm Kate, Strategic Communications Officer at AONTAS, and lovely to see you here this morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Brian. I'm the Membership and Digital Engagement Officer. Great to see you all this morning.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan. I'm Communications and Digital Media Officer at AONTAS. Thanks for joining today.
Yeah, thanks indeed, and you're all very welcome. Megan will be monitoring the chat today, so if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to mention in the chat, she'll get back to you. I'll take you through a presentation shortly with contributions as well from Kate and Megan. We'll talk about this year's Adult Learner Festival. We'll talk about the theme. We'll talk about events, how you can get involved, and then we'll have some time for discussion at the end. If you have any questions on the way, do feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. And otherwise, if you can keep your microphone on mute so we can all hear each other clearly, that would be great. We are recording this webinar for people who are going to watch it back later. So if you prefer not to be seen in that video, you can turn your camera off. So I'm going to share my screen now, and you can all let me know if you can see it okay. Is that all right? Brian's giving me the thumbs up.
Yep.
Thanks, Brian. Great. So I hope some of you are familiar with the Adult Learners Festival, but I know we have some people who may not have come across it before. So we are going to go through the Adult Learners Festival for 2024. Our theme this year, you can see there, is Everyday Learning Spaces with a hashtag of Find Yourself Here. And we're going to be running from the 4th to the 8th of March. So if anyone doesn't know about AONTAS, we are a membership organisation and a registered charity founded in 1969. There's about 20 of us now, so it's been growing over the last few years. And what we do is fight for equal access education for everyone, regardless of their experiences. And we really are promoting adult learning, promoting the value and the benefit of adult learning, and the Adult Learners Festival is a huge part of that work. If you want to find out more about us, you can visit us on socials, which Megan is managing, or you can visit us on aontas.com and find out about the research that we do, the advocacy that we do, our promotions, our membership, and all of the work that goes on in AONTAS. The festival itself is a nationwide week-long celebration of adult learning, and it's across the whole island of Ireland, so anyone anywhere in Ireland can get involved. And the goal of the festival, as I said, is to increase visibility of adult and community education. So everyone is working in this field, knows the amazing work that goes on, knows how much effort goes into it from learners, from educators, from providers, from trainers, from everybody. And the festival is really a way to showcase this. And our audience is prospective learners, so anyone who'd like to get involved in adult education. The communities, there may be, people in the area where you're working with who walk by you every day, but they don't know what you do. They've never had a chance to come and see it. So the festival is a really great way to showcase that. Other organizations, because a big part of the festival is learning what other people are doing, learning from each other, and also the media. This is our 18th festival, so it's been going for a good while now. And our theme this year is Everyday Learning Spaces. So what we mean by everyday learning spaces is any safe and supportive learning environment, wherever it may be. So that could be a classroom, but it could also be a library, a digital hub, a learning pod. It can be a place in a park or, a space in a cafeteria. It's anywhere where adult education happens in Ireland. But the key thing about these spaces is that learners are the focus and that they take an active role in shaping these spaces. So we wanted to have this theme this year to include all of the types of education and learning that go on, and to show how everyday learning can help people with real world challenges. So that could be someone who's struggling with online banking or with Zoom, some new technology like that. It could be someone who needs to balance their learning with caring or with other responsibilities, or it could be someone who needs specific support with the type of learning that works for them. So these spaces are where those learners can really shape their own learning, and where they can thrive in this safe and supportive environment. And so that's why we say that everyday learning spaces are an open call for anyone to find yourself here, to find yourself in adult education, find yourself in these everyday learning spaces. So what we'll do today is talk about the events in the festival week that are connected with this theme, talk about examples and ideas of events that you can organise yourself, talk about the festival calendar, the support that we can give you from AONTAS. And then, as I said, we'll have some breakout rooms for discussion and then comments or questions. I'll just mention on this slide that the visuals for our everyday learning spaces, designed by our very talented colleague Juliana, are really there to echo this idea that learning can take place anywhere. So we have our like little tablets to represent online learning, and a sofa in the countryside to show that, yeah, learning can really take place wherever it suits learners and wherever educators are. For the festival week, we in AONTAS organise 2 big events at either end of the week. On the Monday, we have a policy discussion event in the Richmond Education Centre in Dublin, in Smithfield. And that's going to concentrate this year on sort of key issues in relation to adult learning, particularly around financial challenges to learners. So we'll be announcing details of that very shortly. And we'll also have our flagship Star Awards ceremony on the 8th of March in Croke Park in Dublin. So the Star Awards, if any of you aren't familiar with them, are awards that AONTAS give every year to promote and to really showcase adult education initiatives that are innovative and going above and beyond, I suppose, as so many initiatives are. We have 5 categories for the Star Awards: learner voice, health and well-being, global citizenship education, third level access and engagement, and social inclusion. So some of you may have already been on the shortlist for a Star Award, and I'm sure we'll see some of you there on the day, but just to say that's the big event that closes the Adult Learners Festival. In between those 2 big events, we ask everyone who's involved in adult education to consider hosting an event of their own to really show the work that they do, to get people involved and to celebrate adult learning. The only criteria for those events is that they should be free of charge, that they should be relevant to adults or community education. They should be open to the public, so it should be something that's accessible, but you can obviously specify registration is needed if you need to control numbers or you need to know who's coming. And happening from the 4th to the 8th of March, approximately. So we try and keep the events within that festival week so that we can really maximise the exposure and help people understand the importance of adult learning. But, you know, if it doesn't suit you to have something in that exact week, it's perfectly fine to have one a little bit beforehand or a little bit afterwards. So we're going to, as I said, the festival has been going for 18 years. So I'm going to hand you over to my colleague, Kate, who's going to tell you about some of the festival week events that happened last year and give you some tips on how to organise them.
Hi, everybody. Great to see you all here this morning. My name's Kate. As I said, I'm the Strategic Communications Officer at AONTAS. A big part of my role is writing and editing our written pieces for our website and our digital content. And this is my 3rd Adult Learners Festival with AONTAS. Up to recently, I was doing our social media. And I've been amazed at the huge variety of events that community education and adult education groups have been running over the past 2 years. I just think they've been fantastic. So these are some of them from last year. The first one there that you can see is Stepping Stones and Stable Roots. That was an AONTAS run event. That was the policy discussion that we'll be running again this year. That focused on community education. And then the others are events that were run by community and adult education organisations and groups from across the island of Ireland. So we had Introduction to Flower Arranging, we had Paediatric First Aid, Hot Stone Therapy, Basic Photography Tips, and Walk and Talk. And you can see there, you know, some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. And really for these events, it's very open, particularly this year with the theme of everyday learning spaces. They can be in person, they can be online. The idea being that it's meeting learners where they're at. It's as sort of flexible and varied as you would like to make them. And we're very happy to support in any way we can with these events. So if we hop to the next slide, Karis. So how to plan an event. A festival event does not need to be elaborate or extraordinary in any way. It's about showing people what you do, making them feel welcome. So, you know, as an idea, you could speak to staff and learners in your program group or centre about priorities and aims. So if you decide to run an event, it could be led by current learners and thinking about, well, if I was a prospective learner, again, if I was someone who hadn't walked in the door, what would I like? What kind of things would draw me in? And to staff as well, who like have so much experience, to think of brainstorming ideas, particularly around this theme of everyday learning spaces. So if you want to connect further with the local community, you could organise a taster session where people could come and see the work you do in an informal and fun setting. And if you want to attract potential learners, arrange an event where they can meet and speak with current learners and hear their experiences. So often we hear that current learners are, the best at showing why anyone would join a course or a class. They really are the experts, and learner voice is so important to AONTAS, and we see that coming up again and again with these events, that is really a huge way to attract people in, and people want to hear from learners, and like they can relate so much to people who are going through similar experiences or are coming through similar courses. So the next slide there, Karis. Oh, yeah, so this is an example that one group submitted to us last year. It was Have a Gawk. So you can see it's an art class, and people were invited in to have a look at the art that was produced. And it can be something as simple as this, open the centre up for an hour or two in a morning or of an evening and invite people in, have a cup of coffee, have, pastries, and welcome people to see the things that are being made or produced by learners in your centre or your programme. And as well, just to say that, which ties in with this theme, AONTAS is a major supporter of informal learning, learning that's more about the whole person, the person's experience, and a sense of confidence and well-being. And this art class is a great example of that. And we have some other examples as well, Karis, if you want to. Yeah, great. So what kind of events could you have? It's entirely up to you. So walk and talk with learners. It could be a chance for potential learners to meet current learners and providers, to hear about experiences and opportunities available. It could be a coffee morning to bring people together for an informal chat about what you do. It could be a try something new taster session, to hold a short taster session to introduce people to different courses or activities. And it could be an informal information session or workshop to give information about your work and exchange ideas with others. And the next slide there. So this was another fantastic example from last year, a walk and talk. I think this was from Tipperary ETB in Clonmel. And you can see all the various learners and providers that got together for this event. And as well, the organisers sent the information into a local paper. So that's something to think about too. If you want to run like a short little event, a walk and talk or a taster session, you could take a few photos, send them to us, but also you could send them to your local paper, and we can promote them through our social media channels through my wonderful colleague Megan. But local papers are always looking for great examples like this. And you can see there, it shows people sort of smiling and happy and all together, and really kind of highlights I suppose, the essence of the festival, which is the celebration of adult and community education and a celebration of bringing people together. And the next slide there. And this is another wonderful example that we had last year from Blue Teapot in Galway, their performing arts school. And yeah, when I was doing social media for the festival last year, I just thought that an example like this is fantastic. It really shows, people coming together, smiling at the camera, and showing both the logo for the organisation in the background and the mugs that we had for the festival last year. So yeah, we're more than delighted for you to send in photos of your events to us for us to promote on our social media channels, and we will be releasing press releases in relation to the festival as well, and for you to share it on your own social media channels, and we will promote it too. So yeah, that's just a run through of some examples, but I'm more than happy to take questions and discussions at the end, and I'll pass you back to Karis now. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Kate. Yeah, I think that was a great rundown of some of the events that we had last year and some of the ways that people really, use the events to promote the work that they were doing to their own communities as well as through AONTAS. As Kate mentioned, and as you can see in this photo, we give you support for your event through sending out merchandise that you can use. So last year, our theme was Create Your World, and we made these mugs that reflected that theme. So this year, we will have a new merchandise that will reflect the theme of everyday learning spaces. When I say merchandise, what I mean is things like posters that you can put up, that you can put the details of your own event, flyers, bunting that you can use to decorate your centre, pens, anything else that may be useful to you. And from feedback from last year, we're not going to put years on them anymore. So you will be able to use them at any events that you would like to in the future as well to promote adult learning and the Adult Learners Festival. But we do know that there are other expenses involved in having an event. So we'll also have a €50 voucher for the first 50 groups that register an event. We'll send that out to you. You can use that to buy materials that support your event, or some people last year actually raffled it among the learners as a kind of an extra special part of the day to celebrate the festival. So it's really up to you how you'd like to use that. It's just support from AONTAS to organisations that are having something for the festival. We'll also share your event on our Adult Learners Festival website, which I'll show you now in a moment, on our social media and through press releases, as Kate said. AONTAS is, a big and long-standing organisation. We have a lot of followers on social media, which Megan will tell you about. So it's a good opportunity to reach that audience through us as well, because we're very happy to share any updates, photos, or experiences that you have from the festival. We'll also have printable and downloadable graphics on AONTAS.com. So if you want to advertise things on socials or on your website, you don't need to make something custom for that. We can send you something that you can use. So this is the Adult Learners Festival website that I mentioned. It's a little microsite, a small website that anyone can access. So it's open to everybody, obviously. And what we ask people to do is to submit your events on this website. And then when people visit the website, they can search by day, they can search by theme, but they can search by county, and they can see what's happening in their area. So this is something we promote consistently throughout the festival. The address is adultlearnersfestival.ie. It's being updated at the moment with our new theme and new look for this year, but it is still valid. So actually, if you're very organized and you already have an event in mind, you can submit an event already. So just bear in mind that it's going to be updated very shortly. When you click on submit an event, you'll come to a form like this, which asks you to fill in information about the event that you have in mind. And what this information is your event details, the title, the date, start and end times, venue, and description. So this is for when your event is quite finalized and you know exactly what you're going to be doing. You can fill in and just submit an event form. Your event type. So we have these separated as celebration, information session, lecture, open day, and so on. Again, that's to help people who come to the website to understand what different things are available so they can browse by type. Then your organizer type. Are you from an ETB, community education group, a library, museum? If you want free resources to promote the event, this is, as I mentioned previously, things like posters and so forth. If it's an online event, you may not want those, so that's why it's optional. You can say yes or no if you want those. And then if you're an AONTAS member, and that's for our information, just to understand who's a member of AONTAS. So once we have your submission through the adultlearnersfestival.ie website, we review it. We'll contact you if you need any more details. We aim to do all of that within 2 working days, so it's up on the site as soon as possible. And then once we've done all of that, it'll appear on the website at adultlearnersfestival.ie, and anyone can search it and see what's going on. So as I said, that website is a big part of our promotion during the week of the festival. And I'm going to hand you over now to Megan to tell you a little bit more about how we promote the festival and how we spread the word.
Thanks, Karis. Hi, everyone. So I'm here to support you with promoting your event on social media throughout the festival. So although social media isn't the only way to promote the festival, it is an important tool that we use to get the word out and shine a spotlight on events and groups participating. So we encourage you or groups to share photos on social media throughout the week, and to please use the hashtags Find Yourself Here, ALF24, and AONTAS. And as Kate mentioned, you're welcome to use our festival graphics or your own photos. And ones that work quite well are with people where they're kind of engaged in an activity or chatting with each other, or, you know, generally just kind of enjoying themselves. So yeah, and if you do post about the festival, it'd be great if you could please tag us so that we can reshare your posts. We have, across all platforms, we have around 20,000 followers. So it's a really good opportunity to get visibility of your group's work. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm here to help you. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to send an email or a message on social media. Or if you're not on social media, but you would still like to be featured, you're also welcome to email us your photos, and we can spotlight you on our channels. So yeah, thanks so much for helping to promote, and I'll hand it back over to Karis now.
Thanks so much, Megan. That's great. So I hope that's given you an overview of the festival, what the theme is, what events are going to happen during the week, some ideas of the kind of events that you could run yourself, and a view of the festival calendar and of the support that you get from AONTAS during the festival. But if you have any questions at this point, feel free to ask them. And otherwise, Megan is going to set up 2 breakout rooms where we can have kind of slightly smaller groups and talk about any questions that you may have, or any ideas that you have for an event. And Kate and I will be in one room each and be able to help you with all of those. Are there any general questions while Megan's doing her Zoom work? So a message there from Aisling. That's no problem, Aisling. Best of luck. We'll see you soon, and do get in touch by email if you have any questions. Is this anybody's first festival or the first time that they're getting involved?
This is my first time in Charleville. I'm just new to the centre, so I'm only just after joining. I've late joining as well, so I'm still unsure.
Great.
It'll be you have it recorded, do you?
We
Would
do
I be able
indeed.
to get a recording of it to go back?
Absolutely. We'll send you the
Okay.
recording and we'll send you the slides, and we're just about to join these breakout rooms. You should have got an invitation now to join a room.
Yeah.
So if everyone would like to join a room, we can talk through questions there
Okay,
as well.
great, thanks.
Thanks so much. Okay, everyone, we'll be back in around 5 minutes or so. Thanks so much.
So, does anyone have any ideas about events that you might like to run, or ways you'd like to get involved in the festival this year? Is there any way we can help?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead, Laura. Go ahead. No, there's a guy. He is the career guidance, Martin. He works with us, but he has a podcast. I don't think he's attending today, but I said I would ask about. He's been doing podcasts and they're amazing, but we advise maybe he could launch the podcast this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's he's interviewing ex-ETB adult learners basically, and they have amazing stories, each person. So I think I'll send him on all your info about, because he's not great at the marketing side, so he may need help and advice on that.
Yeah, like I'm totally happy to chat. Like that's no problem, and we can jump on a call as well if that works. I think that's a fantastic idea. Like podcasts are such a great way of like sharing that information, and it's kind of more informal as well, and anyone can kind of access it.
Yeah, he's really good at it actually. I listened to a couple, they're amazing. So I think it would be a great week to promote it as well.
Yeah, brilliant. And especially with the theme of everyday learning spaces, like that means you can listen to it anywhere, and you can kind of access it in your own time, and whenever suits you.
Exactly. And then another issue. So if we get somebody to just do a class or something, so they don't get paid, obviously, it's just the materials are covered.
Yeah, well, we are going to give vouchers to the first 50 organizations that register on the website for €50. So we can't offer payment, but we can offer that at least towards the organization of the event and anything to support that, But I suppose it's kind of it's open to the public, and it's open to any learner to pop in, and or any potential learner. So yeah, it's not something that we can fund necessarily, but we can support in any way we can.
Okay, cool.
I just have one question, Kate, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Steph.
I'm based in the Wexford College of Further Education and Training, part of the Waterford and Wexford Educational Training Board. And within the college here, we have about, say, 7 different programs. So everything from apprentices to adult literacy to VTOS PLC, the whole mix. And I think what we will end up doing is doing a series of events. So giving each program 30 minutes each day to do and showcase something, right?
Lovely.
And whether it's the apprentices in the workshops, kind of, for adult literacy learners to be able to come in and see what that looks like from a learning experience. The question I had though was, are we best to kind of package up all of those kind of college-based events for that week into one, say, advertisement, if you like, and then work with yourselves as a one piece, as opposed to sharing them all piecemeal? I just wanted to get thoughts on that piece.
Yeah, like I think it sounds great. What we've seen, I remember particularly last year, one of the ETBs had like and we can support with this as well, because we'll be providing posters and stuff that you can add your own information into, if you know what I mean. That it was like, the title of the festival, and then it was each event listed, with the times and dates and stuff all in the one poster or, package. But then also like separately little sort of shorter advertisements, say on social media, or whether it's sending them out by email, for people to register. So like both can work really well. And say with our website, with the events page that you can submit the events into, you can submit them separately. But then, like, say we could, like, my colleague Megan here could like do a particular post to spotlight them all together, like, as for you guys, that this is happening in the week and that these are the variety of events that you're hosting, so we'd be more than happy to sort of work with you on that. What do you think, Megan?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We'll definitely be spotlighting events. So however, you can just, we can be in touch, and you can just let us know how you'd like to kind of promote it. And yeah, absolutely.
Super. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Would anyone else have any thoughts that you'd like to share, or any questions?
Sorry, what has been done in the past? I'm new to all this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's been done in the past? Like, basically anything. What's your organization? Where are you?
Charleville Further Education Centre.
Okay. And the kind of courses that you run, are they a huge range, or do you focus on anything
basic
specific? Education
and level 5 as well.
Okay, great. Like, what you could even do is just I don't know, any current learners that you have, whether they have any sort of spare time or an hour to give to like do a little chat with people, and have basically we've found that coffee and any kind of tea, croissants, pizza, anything like that is great, a way of encouraging people to come into your center. And if we provide you with the materials, like posters and things like that, to put them up around the place, and then we can promote it, and you could send out an email to like across, you know, your whatever
if I did
contacts.
a coffee morning.
Yeah, and then have learners, current learners, say a few words and invite people in and have a chat. And then other things are like just even to advertise, say, like around locally in like libraries, supermarkets, cafes, museums, post offices. You put up the posters and say you're having an open hour for people to drop in, have a chat, see what you're doing. Like libraries are a huge resource that, you know, I often, my local library, if there's posters up, I might just stop and have a look, to invite people to come in for an hour, like have some coffee and tea and a few cakes and things like that. And it doesn't have to be anything super complex, you know. And we're happy to support her if you have any questions, if you think of anything. Sometimes as well, you might, like, if you have a class, you might sort of do 20 minutes on the sort of highlights of what a class might be like for people, you know. So if they come in, like, you could learn this, and it could help you in this way, you know.
So for example, if we have a room full of spinning bikes,
yeah,
we do an hour activity of spinning bikes.
absolutely.
And people are invited in to use
yeah
them.
and that it's open up, and, you know, you could put up the posters and signs around locally and invite people in, and say, you know, you'll give them coffee and tea afterwards or whatever, you know. It's just that sort of sense that, like, you're open for people to drop into, and that possibility is there, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thanks so much.
Thanks a million. I think we're going back into the main room now, but if there's any other follow-up questions, if you think of anything after this, please do send us an email. We're more than happy to keep chatting, and Megan is on the end of our social media channels as well for direct messaging, so please do give us a shout.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Sorry.
Just quickly, so something simple like even a seed planting thing and a tour around the centre, cake demonstration, anything like that, just to get people in would be fine.
Yeah, a little demonstration. Like last year we had those, actually seeds was a big part of our campaign last year, inviting people in, giving them a little tour, and as I said, promoting it like in local libraries and the post office and cafes and things like that. Just to give a sense of what you do.
Great. Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you found that useful little time to talk to each other and talk about the festival. We had some really interesting questions in our group, which I'll just address quickly. One was whether we can combine the festival with other events, Ireland Reads Day or anything else that can be going on, and that's absolutely fine. We really encourage you to combine it with other events if that's appropriate, because, as I say, the festival is about promoting adult learning, not about, you know, trying to create anything extra for you. So do combine it with something else if that makes sense to you. Another question was around the vouchers, if the vouchers are available to people from ETBs. They absolutely are. The only restriction, if you like, is that we keep it to one voucher per event. So sorry, per group rather than per event, because if one group has 5 events, you know, we try to keep it that way. But there were some really nice ideas as well, different creative ideas flowing about things like having an exhibition with learner stories, and then the previous learners could be there and be approached about their stories, or about, you know, creating an online kind of space where people were talking about their experiences and then representing them in posters and having an art exhibition. So there were really lovely ideas in our group. How about you, Kate? How did you get on?
Great. Yeah, some great ideas, some questions. And I was saying as well that if people think of things after they leave this call, that, you know, we're more than happy to chat further, that we're open to that Megan will be on social media and direct messaging, and that we're open to being contacted by email, and that we'd be happy to jump on a quick call with people as well. If you know, you end this call and then you're like, oh, that would have been a great idea to mention. So yeah, that we're happy to help in the lead up to the festival and to give further ideas as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really key thing, that this is just one opportunity to find out about the festival, and there are many more. So sorry, my screen sharing has gone a bit peculiar. This has to happen once in every Zoom, so I'll just tell you instead that we will send you out the recording of this webinar. We'll send you out the slides, and we'll also send out a pack to everyone next week, which will have links to the festival website, to the resources that I mentioned, and to keep you updated throughout the next couple of weeks. But as Kate says, look, if there is anything that you're wondering about, is that something that we can do, or is there any help that we can pass on, then do just email us. It's a very nice, simple address, ALF, which stands for Adult Learners Festival. So alf@AONTAS.com is how you can reach us, and we'll be delighted to talk to you about any ideas that you have. So we're just over 11:30. Apologies if I've kept anyone from their tea. And thanks again so much, everyone, for coming, and do give us a shout if you have any questions at all.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely week.
Bye-bye.